So, a couple of things.
Hello everyone, how are you? Jerry Michael Grimes here, and again I want to thank you for joining me for this second edition of Grimes 101 102. Again, I haven't decided on a format. Who knows? I may have a different format every month, but as it stands right now, I'm just authentically going through this, and this being still working on the book, and I am behind on pages, and I will tell you why. And what I'm also going to do is answer 5 questions this time, and also first and foremost, I just want to thank you for joining me for a few minutes, taking time out of your day. And I want to thank all of the new subscribers to the channel, all of the incredible comments, the support. It really means a lot. I will be completely transparent with you. It has been a rough summer for me. Summers for me in general aren't great. The older I get, the more I love autumn and Christmas. But this summer has been something. And I will be honest with you. I should have probably gone to the ER this morning. I chose not to because I just chose not to, and I feel great now. And considering everything that has happened this summer, I should not be in as good of a mood as I am right now, but let me tell you why I am. I'm in such a good mood because, humbly, I would have been happy with 8 subscribers. And I've said this before, but honestly, if I had 8 subscribers, that's a lot of people to me. That's 8 people out of 9 billion in the world, 8 whole people with whole lives and things to do who chose to subscribe to the channel to support me in this journey. And likewise, that's why I try to, as much as I can, for public subscribers to also subscribe to your channels as well, to also show support. And when I get my money right, I'm going to support and join, as many channels as possible and really just show love in that way. I really appreciate everything the community here on YouTube and all of the communities that comprise and compose YouTube have been doing. Really quickly, I just want to give props to some lifelong friends and new friends. As always, the Cave family, as always, my Tar Heel family. Now, the things that I say do not represent the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm no longer an employee. I'm just a lifelong Tar Heel, but I always have great love for my Tar Heel family and for everyone throughout the great state of North Carolina, but throughout the world. And as I say that, to anyone watching from Germany, for instance, Guten Tag. To anyone watching from the wonderful and beautiful kingdom of Thailand, for anyone watching from Mexico, hola, ¿cómo estás? From anyone watching from France or from Canada, bonsoir. Je ne sais pas, I only speak a little French. And so I could kind of go on and on and on to the extent to which I just appreciate everyone being here from wherever you're watching. You might have noticed I had a few weeks back in which I was in the hospital. Actually, my mom was in the hospital. She's out now. She's doing much better. But I'm at that age now where I will soon be 50. And it's the age where members of our family grow older as we start raising our kids who are also growing older. So I have a wonderful, precocious young daughter who at the same time is also noticing that people around her growing older. And during the summer, 2 summers ago, my father became very ill. And last January, he passed away. And again, I was working at the University of North Carolina, and everyone was so supportive. But then again, that's the Tar Heel way. So I definitely miss being there, miss the students. Happy first day of class to everyone returning to every school and going back to school and wherever you are. Okay. So I wanted to thank, again, Mocha Live, DJ Mean Mark, Aaron Phillip Clark, and my god brother, Luther Truesdale, and also everyone just associated with them, and again, everyone throughout North Carolina, but also to some new friends that I have not met, but whose work I really love, and I'm going to drop the link to their channels in the description. That would be Chris at Comic Tropes. And his channel's just great content. The more I watch of his content, the more I want to go back and just watch the new uploads and so forth. So he has Comic Tropes and Comic Tropes After Dark. He is simply easily becoming one of my favorite YouTubers and just one of my favorite creators on the platform. I really want to thank Venus Orion Comics. as well. And I plan on, as soon as I can, purchasing the Vampire Killer series that he's publishing. He's doing incredible work. I want to thank Shannon Newby as well. He has an incredible channel that's so helpful for creators in the space, creating comics as well. And also, I have a sheet of paper here where I'm sort of looking at things, so nothing high tech about me at all. But yes, so again, I just want to thank everyone who's here, but also I just wanted to take a moment to recognize those particular creators and everyone else who's recently subscribed to the channel. Okay, the 5 things really quickly. So one, I am behind on my stuff, and really quickly before I forget, again, I'm not going to edit any of this out. This is going to be what it is. I just wanted to take one quick moment, though. I've mentioned this before, but my good brother, Aaron Phillip Clark, has a new workout. The Bluest Night is the 5th installment in his Trevor Finnegan detective series. And congratulations to him on the development deal that he has going as well. And also this particular work that he co-authored with none other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, The Accomplice, also, from my understanding, being developed and will be, I think, in the coming year or so on Peacock as an actual show. So again, congratulations to my lifelong brother, Aaron Phillip Clark. He also wrote a 3rd book. I'm not going to say much about that here, but I have said something about that in the sense that he wrote 3 books in 1 year. I'll give you the German 3 as well. He did 3 books in 1 year, one of which his name is not on, but he absolutely authored. And anyone who knows me knows that I believe creators deserve all of the credit for the work that they create. Steve Jobs, okay, he's great, but Adele Goldberg and her team at the Palo Alto Research Center should be mentioned in the same breath in which we ever mention Apple and Microsoft, in my humble opinion. Again, I'm dedicated and devoted to creators receiving the credit that they deserve. Credit equals currency. It equals the ability to put food on the table. And so my good brother Aaron wrote 3 books in 1 year, and one of those books he has not received his proper credit for. And I will leave that there, but I feel a certain way about that. I think it's wonderful that Bill Finger is finally receiving the credit that he deserves. I think it is a tragedy what the Siegel estate and the Schuster estate has had to go through in terms of claiming their ownership and rights of giving us one of the greatest characters of all time, none other than Kal-El of Krypton, Superman himself, and so forth. And so I just think it's critical that all creators receive credit for the work that they do. I'm not going to get religious here. I don't do religion and politics here. There's reasons for that. But I read in an ancient Mediterranean text sometime that was written some time ago that the laborer is worthy of their hire, and creators are worthy of the credit for what they create. We owe a debt to creators and those who sacrifice and just go through all that's necessary to give us the beautiful art, the music, the paintings, the drawings, the designs, the ideas, the engineering, the concepts, the lines of code that are written. And so it's just critical that creators receive credit. On that note, ironically, I said I don't go into politics here, and this isn't political, but again, my good friend, my brother, Lenny McAllister, has just authored this book. This is not a political book. He does discuss policy, but for the most part, this is his life story. It's called A Venn Diagram of One, available through Simon & Schuster, available and out this week. I'm not just giving props to this book because he does reference me and actually does give me credit for a couple of things that I mentioned, but at the same time, anytime somebody does something great, I really want them to receive credit for the work that they do. Likewise, again, I mentioned Venus Orion Comics. Also, Shannon Newby has an incredible work called Munch. I plan on purchasing that as well, and his publications. And as time goes on, I just want to read and absorb and acquire more material, especially from independent creators. So the 5 questions real quick. Why do I love comics? And here we are, like almost 10 minutes in, and I'm just getting to the 5 questions. This was supposed to be a 5-minute video, but it is what it is. Okay, so really quickly, why do I love comics? I can't think of a reason that I don't love comics. In short, December 19th, 1982, my childhood home burned down. My older brother, had over 200 comics, and my grandmother lived across the street, and he brought the comics over to the house so that I could read them. Within his collection, he had Fantastic Four issues 1 through 12. They were lost in the fire. Um, First appearance of the Punisher. Um, he had a lot of great books because he began collecting in 1965. And so you can imagine from 65 to 82 what he had in the collection. But on many rough days growing up, where I grew up in a rural area, like I didn't even know like paved streets were a thing until I was like 6, because I grew up on a dirt road in a rural area in eastern North Carolina. But reading comics transported me to other places. It expanded my lexicon and my vocabulary and how I understand reality and the beauty of complexity and the art and the effort. And I would read, all of the credits. I would read the ads. I would read the letters to the editor. And I've always had a great appreciation for comics. I, like others, and feel free to drop a comment if this happened to you. Tom McFarlane, who is one of my favorite creators of all time in any medium, is famous for writing everyone who writes him. And when I was 16, he sent me a small note. It was a picture of Spawn, and the inscription said, Jerry, sorry that it took so long to get back to you. Keep pursuing your dreams. Sadly, as things happen, I lost that letter. I lost the physical copy. That letter remained in my heart forever. That here's someone as renowned as Todd McFarlane would take the time to write, me, a kid in North Carolina. So I love everything about the medium. I don't judge art and writing. There is something for everyone. So one thing I will never do here is be critical of someone's approach to art. I'm critical of people who don't give credit where credit is due. Outside of that, I have nothing else to be critical over. So I simply love the medium. And I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert. I love being on the periphery and just admiring the people who have done this. The Kuberts, the Walton Simonsons. When you think about the contributions of course, we often mention Stan Lee, as we rightly should, but I think about Steve Ditko and John Romita Sr. I think about Louise Simonson. I think about just all of the creators who gave really their lives, their eyesight, their the arthritis that comes with drawing and so forth. They gave everything, and so I'm just at a point in my life where the longer I live, the more I appreciate the medium and everyone who is a part of it in any way. Why do I love hip hop, and why do I still rap? Mainly, I rap like I breathe. I don't. Again, I'm not a rapper. I'm not trying to get a record deal. I express myself in different ways. To paraphrase the great, great, great Stephen King, the great Stephen King. I'm paraphrasing him during a Charlie Rose interview where he was saying someone who fantasizes about certain things and they're able to get their demons out and give their demons an outlet through art and through other expression tend to be less likely to get those demons out in other ways. And so many times people who write in the macabre and who write in such things as if you know anything about the great Wes Craven, may he rest in peace, the great Wes Craven wanted to do petticoat films, kind of Hallmark films, if you will. And yet his directorial debut was Last House on the Left, which is not a Hallmark film. Brilliant, disturbing, not for everyone by any means, but I grew up in the 70s and 80s. So, I mean, that was, I grew up with the cinema of John Carpenter and Abel Ferrara. That was the lane back then. But Wes Craven did not want to necessarily make horror films for his entire career. He wanted to make more films like Music from the Heart. And so I believe that everyone needs to give their demons a place to play. If you don't give your demons a playground, then they're going to create their own killing field. They need a place to play through some other expression other than acts of violence, whether it be verbal, emotional abuse, or whatever it is. That negative stuff needs a place to get out safely. And for me, what's funny, my daughter, who's very young, and I do not let her read a lot of what I do at this point because she's too young. but she can read well. So she glances at things and she puts the context together. And she said, "Dad, I think your book is about you." And she's young. She's in elementary school, but even she said, "Dad, I think this book is your therapy." She would not be wrong. I think art is cathartic for the artist in so many ways. So again, I love hip hop for the same reason that I love comics, but I love all music. Whether I've mentioned in one day it can be in 1 hour it can be the Beatles, Nine Inch Nails, Primus, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, Brad Paisley, Two Live Crew, NWA, Jay Dilla, Taylor Swift, Fiona Apple. Like, my algorithm is completely convinced that several different people must be using my account when it's just me. It's wherever the mood goes. So that's why I love art. It's the mood itself. It's wherever it goes. Okay, so in terms of my influences for Luke Oswell, next time I do this, next month, I'll talk strictly about Luke Oswell and really what the book is about and sort of what has produced it, without being too spoilerish, but enough so that you really have a sense of what I'm hoping to do here. But in terms of the influence, I love black and white artwork. I love sort of the purity and rawness of it. And again, I apologize for the unfinished pages. These pages should have been finished some time ago. I'm getting to them. It has been a summer. But I will have these knocked out in the next day or so and then move on to page 8 or 9. I'm close to 10. I'm kind of working out of order at this point. But there was a book called Grips by Chris Silver. Also a book called Faust. Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, James O'Barr's Crow. And Faust, the author's name escapes my mind at this point, but it's Faust. It's a comic, Faust. It's for mature audiences. So please, spoiler alert, if you look up the covers are, they are what they are. But I grew up reading Golgo 13. I grew up watching Fist of the North Star. Luther and I would watch Fist of the North Star on VHS before we could get subtitles, where just through contextual clues we figured out the story. So as a kid, I'm watching Golgo 13, reading Golgo 13, and watching Fist of the North Star and reading Fist of the North Star. And so I think that led to really the impact of kind of the storytelling of, kind of, let's see, I'm just pulling some things here to show you. So this did get finished, actually. So here, okay, so we, I kind of have some things, coming together here. It's sequentially, it's all coming together. But I grew up reading manga. I grew up reading a lot of the books that were ultimately adapted. And so I watched a lot of Black Magic M66, MD Geist, Baki Hanma, especially Record of Lodoss War. That was what I grew up on. And so, again, it all just kind of flows together for me. But that's definitely been the aesthetic influence here. Also in the book, like I said, I'll talk more about Luke Oswell next month. But in the book, you'll notice that there is an outlaw motorcycle club. Not a gang, outlaw motorcycle club. It's a club, not a gang. Called Trial and Error. Trial and Error was the first time I introduced Miss 28 as a character 19 years ago. And what we used to do with Cave so often is, so this was a double movie actually. But this is 19 years old, and the tagline, which was really pretentious, it's the best comic book you've never read. Yeah, kind of pretentious, but the story, which I copyrighted and developed, I liked the story and said I should use this as a part of the backdrop for Luke Oswell. So it's interesting how this is from 2018. This is from 2006. And now in 2026, I have found a way to merge the two, and they're coming together. All as one story, a part of one saga. Okay, so I think actually, I don't know if I answered 5 questions or not, or how I did this. It was all chaotic and all over the place. I'm left-handed. I feel like the rapper Haiti Baby during his freestyle when he said, "I'm all over the place." I feel like I'm all over the place. But like I said, it's early in the morning for me right now. I haven't had my caffeine yet. I'm just energized on being here with everybody and being here with you. Like I said, I don't know the first or second thing about the internet, but one day if I ever figure out like how to live stream or something, maybe we could do something like that sometime. Like I do like a live. I don't know if you're interested in me doing that. But when I would teach, so I've taught in undergraduate studies for 12 years, and when I would teach, I was always doing a lot of interactive things. Before there was Zoom, there was Skype, there was Google Plus. So I am familiar with technology, whether synchronous or asynchronous, in terms of being able to interact. So if everyone's interested, you can let me know. Maybe I could hook something like that up. But I was supposed to be kind of drawing here, and I haven't drawn much. I've just been rambling. But what I would do is I'll keep just, uploading shorts and kind of getting things together. But it has been a summer. It has been, it's been a lot. But you know what? Despite all of this, being here with everyone and to see 65 subscribers, like I said, I never thought I would have eight to the original eight. If it had just been us, we would ride together. And I absolutely love you to the additional 57. I'm not a math person. I sound like Michael Clark Duncan in Slammin' Salmon. If you've ever seen the film, side note, Slammin' Salmon, Michael Clark Duncan, it is hilarious. It's ridiculous hilarious. It's a broken lizard film. But to really get a sense of the brilliance of the late, great Michael Clark Duncan, if you watch The Green Mile, which is a heart-wrenching story, again, speaking of Stephen King, a heart-wrenching story, and then watch Michael Clark Duncan in Slammin' Salmon, to think this is the same actor. And I mean, you're in your feels by the end of The Green Mile, understandably and rightfully so. And then to watch Slammin' Salmon is just hilarious. So if you need to laugh for any reason, I think there's always a reason in which we need to laugh with the state of things as they are from time to time. Slammin' Salmon is it. I warned you, it's ridiculous. It's not where you go for complexity. It's just a ridiculous, funny story about a restaurateur played by Michael Clark Duncan named Cleon Salmon. He's a retired prize fighter who's trying to earn money for in order to avoid the Yakuza showing up at midnight. It's hilarious. But he has a line where he says, "Believe it or not, I'm not a numbers guy." And so that's what I felt like, 8 plus 57, 65. So to the 65 subscribers, to everybody, I love you. Thank you so much. I am going to figure out how I'm going to get through an otherwise complicated day and weekend, as always. But you make time and take time for what you love and who you love. And I love being here, having an opportunity to interact with everyone. And I promise I'm going to get back on these pages and finishing all of this and putting everything together. But I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. As long as I'm here on this third rock from the sun, I'm going to keep drawing and creating and doing stuff. So as always, wherever you are, have an incredible day, have an incredible week. If you happen to be going through anything yourself, for whatever my thoughts and well wishes and positive energy can do, I'm sending that to help you through whatever you're going through. And trust me, if nothing else, I'm still here. And there's a lot of reasons why I shouldn't still be here. And yet I am. Like I said, I thought I was headed to the ER this morning. And after a couple of hours sleep, I woke up feeling like an entirely new person. I can't explain it, which is kind of cool because that kind of feeds into the superpowers of Luke Oswell. They kind of run along those lines to a certain degree. So who knows? And if that's the case, if I end up like Luke Oswell, then I'll be in a position where like I can buy everybody's stuff that's producing and creating things, because I want to support everyone. I want to see everyone flourish and succeed and do well. So again, that sounds like a line from Too Short, Still Struggling, on the Wood soundtrack as well. So I just want to give credit for that. If you've never heard that song, it's great. It was during Too Short's acoustic stage. He had like a couple of acoustic joints that he did with Eric Sermon called Buy You Some, and then Still Struggling. Again, it's Too Short, so there's like a couple of words in there, but it's like a super wholesome song from Too Short. and it's basically about working hard. And if I had to choose a theme song, that would be my theme song, Too Short, Still Struggling. Except, unlike the chorus of that song, I can trust my closest friends. And I do love my closest friends, and I appreciate my closest friends. So that would be the only difference. But outside of that, again, thankful to everybody. Cave forever. Go Heels. Go whatever team you support. Be great wherever you are. Thanks for hanging out with me if you're still here for all of my rambling. This was supposed to be 5 minutes, and now it's 25 minutes and 22 seconds. But with that, I'm going to say take care. And I look forward to connecting next month. And we'll talk about, this book that I'm working on. And not just this book, but the overall project and the characters and kind of the world that I'm building here. Again, thank you so much. Take care.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.